Hello and welcome to another edition of After the Whistle. If you get the chance, you come in here and turn that monitor on. But we're gonna keep going. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot happening. First, we're gonna get right into the NBA playoffs. You can start off with Celtics because there's a lot to digest.
Well, they're down 3-1. None of us really expected them to be down 3-1. We thought it was going to be a more competitive series, at least tied 2-2 going into midway through the series. But coming into game 5, they have to come with it. They can't let Giannis do what he wants out there. He's just dunking everything. I don't see many guys really wanting to stay in front of him because he is a big physical specimen. And the Celtics, they seem like they don't even like each other on the court. Like, it seems like their time is kind of
These dudes out here getting punked, out here being embarrassing, out here being soft. They're out here playing terrible. These dudes are playing terrible. Sitting there just letting the Bucks do whatever the hell they want. You letting Eric Bledsoe, who I think isn't that good, just get to the rim with ease. You let George Hill come off the bench and just get to the rim. Pat Connaughton is coming off the bench and just giving you buckets. Like, where is the defense? Where is the defense? These dudes are playing horrible. The bad habits that I kept talking about all season, apparently, they disguised that in the first round against the Pacers, and then boom, you think they got rid of it after game 1, and then here it comes. These dudes are like they're punks. They get up big, and once they lose a lead, then it's like, okay, what do we do now? What do we do now? I'm going to play hero ball. Like, what are y'all doing?
It seems like that team has a lot of emotional players because you can just sense it when things aren't going right. Nobody's really there to pick each other up. They're always pointing a finger, and and really, who's the most mature guy on that team? Like Kyrie, one of the Morris twins, like. They were all relatively in the same age range, so it's kind of hard, especially when your star's not really killing everybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah, at all. And you got to think about it. So you look at the game, and then you look at the points in the paint. We'll start with that. We can look at the points in the paint. So game 1, the Celtics had 26 points in the paint. Game 1, the Bucks had 26 points in the paint. The Celtics had 38. Game 2, the Bucks had 34 points in the paint. The Celtics had 36. Now, let's go game 3 and 4. 52 points in the paint for the Bucks, 66 points in the paint for the Bucks. That's just getting punked. You're getting punked, and it's like they're getting punked and they're taking it.
Yeah, man. I think some of them guys, if they had another option towards the end of the season, they'd rather not go to the playoffs. Because the way they're playing just seems like they don't even like each other.
Yeah.
And as professionals, you don't got to like each other, but you have to respect each other enough to be able to tolerate each other on the court.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, you don't know how many people would give to be in that position, and you have a chance to play for the finals. You guys were a favorite to get to the finals, and they're playing like they're playing like they've already booked their summer vacations. That's what they're looking at. Now we got to look at some other stuff. The bench has been horrendous. The bench, 7 points in game 4.
Yeah,
7?
That's tough. And the Bucks, their bench is probably playing like the best bench in the playoffs. Like they're looking like one of the best teams in the playoffs.
Once again, Connaughton and George Hill. Game 3, Connaughton had 14 points. George Hill had 21. Game 4, Hill had 15. Connaughton had 9 points. And then you got to look at it also. It's these third quarters. They keep getting on these runs, like halfway through the third quarter. We saw in game 2, 24-2 run. And then, that thing just got out of hand. Game 3, they went on, I believe, a 12-0 run to close off the third quarter to build a double-digit lead. And then they went on a 15-4 run. It's like they go on these runs and the Celtics can't score. And it's just like, and they take too many threes. They are not a good three-point shooting team. They don't have sharpshooters like that to be taking so many threes because they're not making any.
I mean, it's the playoffs, too. Every possession counts. Every minute counts. So you can't play the same way you play in the regular season in the postseason. You have to switch some things up. And it's about it's about every possession counts, really. Having the best possession every time down the floor, every time down the floor.
And you know what's sad? When Marcus Morris has been your most consistent player, did all 4 games.
I was going to say, too, you have 2 so-called stars. I wouldn't say superstars, but Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, and they're looking like they're on their way out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Gordon Hayward, I thought he turned the corner, especially the way he closed out the Indiana series, the way he played. And then you come back into this series, 13 points, 5 points, 10 points, 2 points, 2 points. Come on, man, you got to give me more than 2 points.
I can't even justify that. But also, we're talking about the bench with George Hill.
Yeah.
He's also mature. He's a vet. We don't really have many vets coming off the bench for the Celtics to keep everybody steady. So that's another
Wanamaker.
Who?
Brad Wanamaker.
Point exactly. We don't really have any guys with real playoff experience, too. Like George Hill's a vet that has playoff experience. Did he win a chip, or he left the year before they won it, right?
He was on the team last year that lost.
No, don't tell me he was the Spurs, though.
Nah, he
left the year before they.
Yeah.
All right, so he has experience in the playoffs, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the Celtics need an elder spokesman out there.
Yeah, I remember when Kyrie said early in the season they need a veteran just on the bench or just somebody that could keep the team afloat, and everybody crushed him for that. It killed him. Like, why don't you lead the team? Why don't you? He's like, this is exactly what he was talking about. So, a vet would have helped. They should have picked up Kendrick Perkins. I mean, not even for playing time, just to have him on the team, just to get them through stuff like this.
Yeah, I totally understand. And I think when they heard Kyrie say that, they're thinking like, why'd you get traded there? Why'd you leave to go there? Yeah. He's like, you don't understand. We're not that far in age for him to really respect me as an elder spokesman.
Yeah.
And now they're seeing it firsthand.
Yeah. And then I need a lot from Terry Rozier. Everybody was making a big deal of number 36 coming back. You know how I feel about number 36, and there was no difference. He came back, there was no difference. No difference in the defense, nothing.
Sometimes less is more. It probably might have been a little better. He didn't come back in this series just because they had chemistry, but it seems like they don't even care about their chemistry anymore. They're ready to book.
Yeah, they don't care about it. Yeah, they don't care about none of that at all. It just because they quit. Honestly, game 4 they quit. When the Bucks took the lead, and then when they put the lead into double digits, they absolutely quit, and that's just embarrassing for a team, embarrassing for a Celtics team to even quit.
I was gonna say the culture itself, we're pretty harsh because we have so much history with the Celtics. If you to quit, it's just showing that you don't respect the culture. Yeah,
well, I have some bright side. We could look on the bright side. I do have a little bright side. I don't know how much this will help. So the Celtics franchise history, they've been down 3-1 2 times. The first time was 1968. They played against the Sixers in the Eastern Conference Finals. They came back and won that series and then went on to win the championship that year. And then 1981 versus the Sixers again. They came back and won that series and went on to win the championship. Granted, they had a guy named Larry Bird in one of those and a guy named Bill Russell and a couple other Hall of Famers in those ones. So if there's a silver lining, if there's a glimpse of hope, we got that. I have hope with this team, but I'm just setting myself up for another disappointment. I'm gonna watch this game with a big bottle of Jack Daniels because I'm just preparing for the worst. Because every time this team, I try to trust this team, they just let me down.
And the worst thing is, like we said it, like other than Golden State, they probably have the best overall team to win the championship, but they just can't figure it out and get out. They can't stop getting in their own way.
Yeah, which is sad. So it's either they win or they go home, because if they don't, it's 1-2-3. This is one of those 1-2-3 Cancun games. So hopefully they choose to continue playing. And another game where a team that's, Sixers and the Raptors. This one, it got ugly.
Yeah,
it got ugly
from the jump.
It got ugly. And Joel Embiid, this is 2 years in a row I've seen him in the playoffs in the second round where he's, they're saying he's sick. And, that's, people are giving him a pass for that. But, me, you on the court, you did all that talking. You do all that talking during the regular season. I lost a little respect for him last year after he started crying to the referees when the Celtics beat him about him not getting fouls, or they foul him every time. But, bruh, come on now. You're supposed to be the best big man in the league. You ain't showing me nothing. What are you, so 2 points? No, 10.
He had 5 at halftime.
Yeah. 13 points, my bad. 13 points. And we're not even going to talk about game 4 because that was even more horrendous. He's had one good game this entire series.
Yeah, I was going to say, he had that 33 and 10. Then he's averaged, I think, like 13 and 7 for the rest of the game.
Man.
Unacceptable. We strong believers are. You step out there, nobody cares about how you feel. It's all about production. There's no gray area in basketball, especially playoff basketball. You either show up or sit down. That series is kind of tough to watch because there's no real consistency even with the starters. Like, I feel like whichever team has the most consistent starters will win the series.
The only consistent player in this series is Kawhi Leonard. He's the only consistent one because when you got Ben Simmons giving you 7 points and only taking 5 shots, that's pathetic.
I'll be honest, I barely realized that Ben was on the team. Like, they don't even talk about him during the games. Like, it's like, bro, you're 6'11", 6'10". What are you doing? Like,
the guy that's guarding him is 6'6", and there's nobody over 6'8" they put on him. So it's like, get your behind in the post and just get easy baskets. We know you can't shoot, but we know you could get to the basket.
Yeah.
Get to the basket. What is so hard about that? I don't know. The Sixers they're just one of those teams. They're a front-running team. And, you go 6 of 24 from the three-point line, and it's just bad.
But Kawhi's killing, though.
Yeah, they have no answer for him.
He's averaging 37 and 4 steals, like, per game. Like,
and he's not even taking bad shots.
Nah, he's shooting 50% from the 3 and 48 from the 2. Like, he's honestly probably one of the best guys in the playoffs.
I think the previous 2 games he was shooting over 60%. Because it's either it's an open shot or he's getting to the easy shot in the paint. So the Sixers got a lot of work to do. Granted, they play better at home, but I'm gonna need the so-called best big man in the league to step his game up because in the playoffs, this is the second year in a row in the playoffs where he's been held down by inferior opponents or inferior defenders, I should say.
Definitely, and the playoffs, you're supposed to boost your game up a level. So, or raise it a level, I should say, and they're not doing that.
Yeah, I just don't get why we don't have the same energy for this guy. But with Steph Curry, we overblown his one horrible game and make it seem like his entire playoff career is horrible. But then this guy, every year in the playoffs that I've watched him play, he's underachieved. Especially, because last year Al Horford pretty much punked him. He got punked by Al Horford, and he's got at least 3-4 inches on Al Horford.
But Al's legit vet. He's solid.
Yeah, he's a big guy, but there's no reason that he should have got punked the way he could. He wasn't even getting shots off, and it's like.
I see what you're saying.
But yeah, that's terrible. But you know what? I don't like Philly anyway, so good. They deserve what they get. On to this series. This is an exciting series. Toronto's up 3-2, chance to close it out tomorrow night in Philly. Another team that's up 3-2, the Denver Nuggets and the Portland Trailblazers. These guys have been playing some crazy games. This was the first blowout, pretty much a blowout. But, I mean, they had a 4 overtime game last Friday, and then I believe Sunday, game 4, that was a pretty tight to the wire, down to the wire game, and Jamal Murray hit 6 straight free throws, and last night it was just all Nuggets. I think I saw this coming because they were just back home, and they were due for one back home. I think the Blazers are due for one too at their home, but this series has been a fun one.
Yeah, it definitely has. You have 2 of the most dynamic duos in the league right now in the playoffs, Jokic and Murray, and obviously C.J. McCollum and Dame. Mm-hmm. Man, Jokic is a dog.
Yeah.
That man does what he wants out there. He's too big for them boys. He's just too much to handle. But like Dame, I felt like that series, last series against Westbrook, Dame did take that a little personal because he's not playing with the same intensity. He was playing with Granted. The defense is a little different. They're pressing him a little.
Trapping him a lot more.
Pressing a little earlier, but he knows last year the defense was kind of similar with New Orleans, so he should understand what to expect.
I think he's trying to get the ball. I think he's trying to be a little unselfish in this one. He should be a little more selfish, but I think he's trying to. Because every time they run that high screen and roll, they try to trap him, and with Harris and another big man. So I see that. But you got to give credit to some of the role players in this series. I mean, Rodney Hood, he came up big. He's been coming up big for them off the bench. Zach Collins too. He's been doing well coming off the bench. And for for the Nuggets, Monte Morris, Beasley, and Barton, those guys, they come off the bench with a lot of energy, and they do their job. Mason Plumlee as well, too. He just comes in, grabs rebounds. Plumlee, that's literally all. He comes in, grabs rebounds. He'll get a easy dunk here off an assist, but he literally just comes in, grabs a rebound, plays defense. So, this series is one of those. It's because they're so evenly matched. You just not, it's going to go 7.
But one thing I had about that 4 overtime game, I told you, with the gym, they need to work on end game management. Because some of those shots they were taking at the end of the overtime is like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's the playoffs, right?
Yeah. It was.
So, it was just.
Some.
Granted, they are professional athletes.
Yeah.
You would expect them to be able to handle the situation on their own.
Yeah.
But they're also players who need to be coached.
Yeah. They've been talking about playoff MVPs right now. And right now, I think, Antetokounmpo and Leonard are getting all the praise and highlights, but this dude Jokic, this dude got 4 triple-doubles in the playoffs, and he almost had another one yesterday.
He's averaging
almost had a 20-20 game.
26, 8, and almost 10. So he's almost averaging a triple-double.
Yeah. The only thing I'm sad about this series is Nurkic.
Oh, yeah,
You said those two guys see that matchup because those two literally play the same way. They're pretty much the same exact type of player, and I was like, that would have been a great matchup to see.
Definitely would have been dope. And Jokic wouldn't be reaching over people, getting rebounds that easily. He's legit, bigger than everybody out there.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing. They've been killing Portland on the offensive glass. They've literally been killing them on the offensive glass. Granted, last game they had 10, but there was, I think, game 3 or 4, they were just, they would grab numerous offensive rebounds in a row, too. So Portland couldn't keep them off the glass. Especially when Portland goes small, it's like, oof, tough.
And with Denver, too, that 3-headed monster of Murray, Jokic, and Millsap, each quarter it's something different.
Yeah.
Jokic might start the game off or, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
then Murray, he had his little run.
Yeah.
And then Millsap, second half, started getting busy. So they're definitely a well-put-together team.
Yeah, but I think Portland is going to take this to 7 games because they're just, the way they play, they're due for a little explosion. And plus CJ, he's going to come out aggressive. He only had 12 points last night, so I think he'll come out aggressive. So Portland got a chance to close it out Friday night. And now this is the series of everybody's been looking for is living up to the hype. The Rockets and Warriors tied 2-2. And, all the games have been close. Game 4, Golden State had a chance to send it to overtime, but they got the shots they wanted by their 2 best players, and they just didn't go in. Sometimes that's just basketball for you. But the Rockets controlled this game, but their little bad habits almost cost them the game too, because they were up double digits, and then they started harking up threes, and just the Warriors are one of those teams. If you don't step on their throats and kill them, they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
And the Rockets let them back in the game.
The Warriors have 3 of the best shooters we've ever seen. Or KD's one of the best scorers we've ever seen, but 2 of the best shooters we've ever seen. And so you have to keep the pressure on them. One thing I'd say about this series, it's the team that's not getting the foul calls called on them, which is Golden State, they're winning at home. And when you're actually calling the calls you're supposed to call for Houston, they're winning at home. So for one, whoever can protect home court is going to win the series.
Yeah, and it was kind of crazy because usually when Golden State gets called for fouls, they didn't do that many complaining this time because some of the foul calls it wasn't those you're like, okay, what are you calling? But a lot of those were they were clear foul. But Golden State got to make their free throws. They went 16 to 23.
Definitely. But about those fouls too, I think it also might have been strategic. If you know they're not going to call it consistently, I'm going to bump them too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let them land too.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use the rules to my advantage like they were doing. So when you know you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, you're not going to complain about it.
Yeah, the one that killed me was when James Harden hit Draymond Green in it. It's like, dude, why is your guide hand going all the way over here? There's no reason you shoot at your guy hand, it goes to the side a little bit. But he said, and smacked him right in the head. And the ref said, sorry, missed that. I'm like, how you
I'll be honest, that's payback. How many times Draymond going to poke him in the eye? He slaps him in the eye every game.
Yeah, he need to put that Horace Grant goggles on, man.
Nah, man, you need to play solid defense. Stop hacking. There's no reason why your hand needs to come all the way up here if somebody's driving by you. Come on, man.
Man, the Warriors, they need to...
what?
The Warriors need to get a better performance from Klay Thompson. He hasn't been himself in this the past 2 games, 1 for 6 from 3. He had a lot of good looks too, looks that usually go down. So him and Steph both, they were combined 5 for 20 from 3 in Game 4. And you know, they didn't shoot the ball well from 3 as a team. They 8 for 23. And then you look at Houston, they go 17 of 50. Why are you taking 50? Yeah, I told you this already. I can't stand Houston's offense. I cannot stand watching Houston's offense.
Because it's not, I want to say, fluent basketball. You know what I mean?
That's playground basketball, legit.
Yeah, it's like going to the Y.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But one thing I would say about Steph and Clay with their issues, you know, it's hard to play both ends of the court.
Yeah.
It's hard to consistently D up and make shots. Mm-hmm. So they might need to, you know, run a couple miles.
And you look, and I'm also looking at the bench productivity. The Warriors got 12 bench points to Rockets 18. So you know the Rockets bench is more so of defense. They don't look at score. Austin Rivers, he thinks he's a scorer, but you know.
Stories I hear about that, maybe he's a star.
Yeah, he thinks he's an elite NBA player. Where it's like, no, you're a role player. Every time he gets the ball, he wants to do the ISO, and I'm just like. No, stop it. But this has been a fun series. Game 5 is tonight, so we'll see what happens. They're back at home, so you know the Warriors. You know it could either be another close game or they could turn it on and run them out the gym.
Yeah, we just have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I hope it's another good game because I don't like seeing blowouts in the playoffs unless it's the Celtics, but. But clearly lately it's been the opposite. So,
yeah, man.
And the last NBA news: Russell Westbrook and Paul George, they both had surgery the other day. Paul George rotator cuff surgery for that messed up shoulder he had during the playoffs, and then Russell Westbrook for his knee. I think this was the same knee that knocked him out the playoffs a few years ago when Patrick Beverley did that little dirty thing on him.
Okay.
So, I mean, this explains a lot of their problems. We already know Russell Westbrook carries too much of the load for that team.
Definitely.
And, you know, his style of play is the knee problems isn't surprising to me.
And I was wondering why, like in the playoffs, he was going to the cup and he like do these weird layups. He wasn't really going as aggressive. So now we see he had some knee issues.
Yeah.
But
I'm about to make a bold prediction. My crystal ball told me, this was me rubbing the crystal ball. But talking about free agencies and where everybody's going to go, I think Durant's going back to OKC. I think he's going back to OKC.
I mean, he liked being out there. He didn't really want to leave.
Yeah, he just
left.
He just left because.
Yeah.
I mean, the owner want to not sign James Harden, then they want to trade Ibaka, and then they they sign certain people that they shouldn't sign, and the people they should have signed, they didn't want to sign them. So it's like, yeah, I want to leave too. Y'all don't know what y'all doing, but yeah, marking this down. What's today's date? May 8th. When free agency comes, Durant's gonna be a OKC Thunder. You heard it from me. If I'm wrong, whatever, I don't care. NHL playoffs, we got one Boston team that's one step away from bringing another championship to the city, and that is the Boston Bruins. These guys, they knocked off whatever team they played, the Blue Jackets, the Columbus Blue Jackets, in 5 games. And you know, the story of this series was Tuukka Rask. This guy, he was pretty dominant with some of the saves he was getting. He had 39 saves overall in the series, and he made life hard for the Columbus defenders. They weren't getting none. Like his save percentage during each game, he had 95% save percentage in this series. Game 1, he had 38 saves. Game 2, he had 32.
Jeez.
Game 3, he had 39. He had 33 in Game 4, and he had 39.
That sounds like some Patrick Waugh type stuff, man. Like, you know me, I know Patrick Waugh, but I mean, they're in second seed, right?
Yeah.
Second seed in the East. We said it a couple weeks ago. If the first seed, who was the first seed? I forgot.
Oh, Tampa Bay Lightning.
If Tampa Bay loses, that's an easier road.
They beat the team that beat Tampa Bay.
Easier road for them. So we're just, supporting our team. I didn't watch much of this playoffs. I'm gonna watch more of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Coming up, but kudos to them.
From the hockey analysts that I followed and been hearing, they were saying this before the playoffs started. They said if somebody eliminates Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay and Washington, the Bruins have a great chance of getting to the Stanley Cup because they have more talent than Columbus, and so they were saying that their path to the Stanley Cup would be a lot easier if somebody because Tampa Bay was probably. If they would have matched up, that would have been a tough matchup for the Bruins. Granted, they played last year and Tampa Bay beat them. So they were saying that. And it's looking like it. So that, Eastern Conference Finals bound. So I think this is their first Eastern Conference Finals appearance in like 6 years.
Yeah, I would say that.
I believe in 2013. I still remember that Blackhawks series. I'm not going that Stanley Cup against the Blackhawks when I decided to watch.
You told me we lost in like
2 seconds. Yeah.
Like what?
Man, that was the first game I watched the entire series too, and I was like, wow.
That was the only game I've ever seen. Like I was tracking it with my phone.
Yeah.
And I refreshed. Like a what? Like I was so shocked. Like just one refresh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. I remember that one. That one was terrible. So the Bruins will be taking on the Carolina Hurricanes, one of the most exciting teams in the NHL. If you ever watched their post-game celebrations during the regular season, they had some funny ones. But Carolina, they swept New York 4-0, and they were just the overall better team than the New York Islanders. And Jacob Slavin, Jacob Slavin and Teuvo Teravainen. I don't even know if I pronounced those names right. Yeah, but those guys, they're leading the Carolina Hurricanes in goals and assists. So this is gonna be an interesting matchup for the Bruins but I think the Bruins got the overall better team from the stat wise because the Bruins have Brad Marchand. He's in the top 5 in goals during the postseason, and they got 2 guys as well. But you got Tuukka Rask. I think Tuukka, he's gonna be the key difference those saves because he's second in the postseason in goals allowed. He's first in save percentage, and also he got 8 wins in the postseason. So
I mean, that's a Hall of Fame name.
Yeah.
So that's all I need.
That is true. That is true. So that Eastern Conference matchup between Carolina and the Bruins, I don't even know when that starts. I don't know when that starts. It's probably Friday from the looks of it because there is a Game 7 tonight. Yeah, actually it starts tomorrow. Game 1 is tomorrow night.
Okay.
Game 1 is tomorrow night. Also, while we are with this NHL, we had another one. The Sharks and the Avalanche, they will be playing in Game 7 tonight. This is all the marbles, Game 7 to go to the Western Conference Finals. The Avalanche came away with, quite the victory the other day against the Sharks. I think it went to overtime. But the winner of that awaits is waiting for the St. Louis Blues are waiting. And the St. Louis Blues, they played a double overtime game last night, and it was quite exciting from watching the highlights.
Yeah, he was telling me about it.
Yeah, I didn't even know what I was like. I'm not a big hockey watcher, even though hockey's actually exciting to watch.
Nah, it is. I used to always watch. I'll never forget. I watched the Dallas Stars play the Avalanche. That whole Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Like every game one year. I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting though.
But yeah, in this double overtime game, Pat Maroon of the Blues, he scored the game-winning goal in overtime. That was his second goal in this postseason, which was funny. And the Blues got a good goalie in Jordan Bennington. Bennington, yeah, he got 131 saves for the series, 29 saves in Game 7. It was a 92% save percentage. So the Blues, the Dallas was a formidable opponent, but those two teams were, Dallas was 43-32, and St. Louis was 45-28. So it was an evenly matched team. That's figured why it would go 7 games. So they're just the Blues are chilling, and they wait for the winner of tonight's Avalanche and San Jose Shark game. And I'm gonna go for the Sharks just because I like the colors of their uniform.
Nah, def.
And so what we got? NFL time.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell is making news for not attending voluntary mini camp there, and they were making a big deal out of it. He put out a statement. He says this is how he's always done it, and when it's time for him to show up and go to work, and when he needs to be there, he'll be there. I don't think this is even a big deal.
It's called voluntary.
Yeah.
So that means if you want to show up, it's not obligated. You're not obligated to be there. It's voluntary. So I don't understand why people just can't understand what things are called and what the definition of the word is, and move on.
And it's not even in their contracts.
It's voluntary.
That it says you have to show up for voluntary minicamp.
If that was the case,
or voluntary workouts, I should say.
If that was the case, they wouldn't call it voluntary. It'd be
mandatory.
death.
Yeah, they had a problem with they had a problem with Odell Beckham too. He didn't show up for their voluntary. If you want people to show up to these things, make it mandatory. Then don't make it voluntary. Because granted, these guys already, they already got work once June hits and then July comes. They're pretty much done. They don't got a social life at all after June, but after May, pretty much they don't have a social life because they start the mandatory mini camps, then they get a break here, then it's training camp, and then it's regular season time, and you know how demanding football is and how you have to be so focused. So it's like, let them have their fun.
And it's common sense. It's voluntary.
Yeah.
If you want people to feel like they have to be there, always make it mandatory.
Yeah.
Always make it mandatory.
And they're trying to make it seem like he should be there just because he signed with a new team and get to know his teammates. I'm like, there's plenty of time to get to know, acclimated with your new teammates. So
he can call them, he can go hang out, but they gave him the option to show up or not show up.
Oh, y'all come work out where I'm working out with. Come work out with me.
They got social media, Snap. You got everything. You can access each other, so there's no reason why you can't keep in contact.
Yeah, man, it's weird. Some things I just don't understand. I don't understand it at all.
This is true.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner. This is his last year of his contract. He said there has yet to be negotiations with the Seahawks. I don't understand. I swear the Seahawks got this thing where they don't want to pay their best players, or they want to be hard about paying their best players.
That just crossed my mind when you said it. I was about to say it. Yeah, that's how it feels like to me because everybody leaves. Everyone leaves. Yeah. They ruined the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
Like, why? That was like the only time I enjoyed watching the Seahawks, like ever in my life.
Yeah, and I think he's probably the last remaining player from that Super Bowl winning defense that's there. And you look at his numbers, this guy, last year he was fourth in the league in tackles, and I think he's always finished top 5 in tackles each year in the league. So
one thing about football, I feel like they always got to force them to give them their money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just pay the men. Like, they get beat up every week for you guys. You guys don't want to pay them?
Especially for him, he hasn't missed that many games. I think the most games he's missed was back in 2014 where he missed 5 games. But if you look at his numbers, he's never had a season where he's never had over 100 tackles during the season. So, I mean, the past 2 years he's had over 130 tackles. And, I mean, just a couple years ago he had 167 total tackles. So you're looking at a guy that he's the quarterback of your defense. You might want to pay him.
Yeah. Just the league, the football is different, man. Football is different with their money. Like, they try to hold on to every penny, I feel like.
Yeah, they do, you know. I don't know. And it's literally the most dangerous sport. And yet they want to shortchange their...
They should get paid the most, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You put your whole life on the line every week.
You know, especially when you got I think the NFL Players Union, they need to have a sit-down with the Baseball Players Union or something, because for all the nonsense with baseball, at least they got it right with paying players. Because even not even the worst guy on the team, he gets a decent amount of, not even a great salary, great 8-figure salary, where, you know, an average guy in the NBA is like, you know, that's a B plus A player, they don't give him his due, which makes no sense. But I mean,
we're gonna talk about the payment in sports. We know how that goes.
Yeah. Yo, Seattle, pay him. All right, Tyreek Hill. His lawyer is denying allegations of the child abuse. He wrote a letter, and I don't understand this.
Does his lawyer watch TV?
Does he listen to the tape?
He got headphones?
Did he listen to the tape? It's like sometimes the evidence is right there, but you know lawyers are shrewd operators. They're glorified liars.
My thing is, at some point, you got to be like, all right, bro, like, it's okay to like you do your job because you're paid to be a lawyer, defend people you know might be guilty sometimes, but the evidence is all over social media, TV. Like you're better off stepping away from this one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and I know, and especially when you hear the recording and you hear the child saying, "Daddy punched me," or "Daddy punches me." Like
I'm so glad I didn't hear that part of it.
Everybody knows the saying. If you want to know the truth, ask a child or an old person. Especially ask children, because children they don't
got time to lie.
Yeah, they don't. They don't know the difference. They don't know that lying's bad, so they just tell the truth. So
don't ask a teenager though. They'll lie your face off.
No, oh yeah, yeah. This is true. So, but I don't know whether I don't see Tyreek Hill actually playing at all this upcoming season. I don't even know where the Chiefs are going to go from here with this situation. I know they brought in a lot of receivers, so I guess they're preparing.
Yeah, they did. Brought a lot of receivers.
Yes.
Yep, sure did.
Yeah, so they're preparing for this, but I don't know what they're going to do with Hill. And, he just lost out on a whole lot of money because they were getting ready to give him a big old contract, and highest paid receiver type contract, $100 million. And now he just blew all that away.
Like I totally disagree with how he can. I don't understand how you could even feel right putting that much force on a kid, or like I just can't. It's mind blowing to me just because me being a parent. There's just certain things I just can't do as a parent. Like,
yeah.
Or a human being, for that matter.
Especially for him, he already know he was on a short lease with things like this. He already know all eyes were on you with certain stuff, and you did a good job for keeping your nose clean. But then once an abuser, always an abuser. I guess. Like, come on, bro. You're gonna ruin your reputation. Well,
also too, they need to have something in place with the NFL to have these people psych evaluations a little deeper than just what they do to get drafted. They need to have like actual counseling sometimes. It's okay to talk to somebody. Sometimes it's easier to talk to somebody and get whatever is stressing you out off your chest. Not saying him personally, but in general. These guys have all these issues that you don't hear about until they get into real trouble.
Yep. And then it don't help that they're knocking each other's heads in every Sunday, so that just further makes it worse. So it's like, the NFL still has a lot of image control that they need to fix because it doesn't seem like they're fixing it, and
they don't care enough to fix it. It seems like.
Nope, they do not. They do not at all. All right, Rodney Harrison, he's going to be elected into the Patriots Hall of Fame. It's kudos to him. Rodney Harrison, he was one of the cornerstones to the Patriots' little back-to-back Super Bowl back in the early 2000s. And, although some may remember him as trying to get that ball out of David Tyree's head in that Super Bowl, but we ain't going to talk about that Super Bowl. But Rodney Harrison, he was an interesting one when the Patriots picked him up because they had Lawyer Malloy at that time, and those two were like the same type of players.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. Only notes I have is rightfully so was legendary Pat.
Yeah, he was.
That's how I looked at it.
Yeah, he was.
Because
he changed that defense.
Yeah, he gonna cheat to win, and we don't care. We got the rings.
Yeah, I think he was voted most dirty player in the league every single year of his career.
But then he acts like he's like a saint now. Yeah. That is like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we saw you poke someone's eye out.
Own up to it.
Yeah, come on, Rodney. Everybody saw it. Yeah, but yeah, he did those Super Bowl runs. I remember the Super Bowl against Carolina. He broke his arm at one point, and then the year after against the Eagles, he had those big interceptions against Donovan McNabb, and also in the AFC Championship game when he picked off that guy from the Steelers. He picked him off a couple times. And, that was the year the Steelers went 15-1, and everybody thought they were going to head to beat the Pats, and, they had another thing coming for them. So congrats to Rodney Harrison. First Patriots Hall of Fame and probably the Pro Football Hall of Fame soon. I mean, shoot, some of the guys they let get in there, they should let Rodney get in there. His resume is better than a lot of people.
That's one thing I wasn't sure about, but I definitely know he's a legendary Pat.
Yeah, definitely. And lastly, Jason Pierre-Paul, he might be out for the season. He fractured his neck during a car accident. He got into a car accident this week, and they're saying it's a fractured neck, and it's looking like he's gonna miss the entire season, which is sad. He's all right in the line, but he's gonna be sidelined for the.
Yeah. Hopefully you have a speedy recovery and everything just heals properly. Or if they get surgery or whatever you need to get done, hopefully everything works out in your favor. You know me, I'm always saying like something you can't avoid. Because I was gonna say, how come some guys don't have drivers and things like that, but you can't stop certain accidents. So
yeah,
just rest well.
Car accidents especially. And last year, this guy had 12.5 sacks. He had quite the season last year. And when he came up, a lot of people thought he was kind of done with the Giants, and then he had that 4th of July firecracker.
He got like 4 fingers, right?
Yeah, he lost 4 fingers, but yeah, he put together. This was his best season sack-wise in a few years, because the last time he had over 12 sacks was 2014, when he also had 12.5 sacks, and then this year he had 12.5 sacks. So, I mean, he's got 70 for his career, but yeah, that was a tough one this is gonna be a tough one, tough blow for the Bucs. Granted, they got a defensive player in the draft, but
you never want to hear anyone getting injured like that, like fracturing your neck, like he could have been, he could have died if the break was even worse
or paralyzed.
Yeah, so thank God he's all right to an extent.
All right, speedy recovery, and we are going to go to Athletes Corner, where we had some soccer players that committed to Salem State and Westfield State. These guys were a little shy, but that's what happens when you get in front of the camera. All right, Athletes Corner, and then we're gonna talk about that weird Kentucky Derby results. That jump was weird. Hello and welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner. Today we got some special guests from Lynn Classical. We got Kevin and Daniel. What's going on, fellas?
What's up? Chilling.
Take 2. So to tell you guys are gonna be off to college soon. You guys, this is the last month of basically your senior year of high school. Just talk about that.
Time flew. Yeah. Time flew. We going to college now.
Yeah,
in the real world.
Yeah, the real world, college, the best 4 years of your life. So tell me, what made you choose Westfield State?
So like when we went for our visit, we were seeing the campus, talking to the guys on the team, and it was just chemistry right off the back. I felt like home. I felt comfortable there. And knowing that they got a bunch of young guys going there, like returning next year, ready to play with a good core, I feel like I'll fit right in, so that's why I think I made my decision to go there.
Yeah, good choice. That's what you did. You chose Salem State. That's where I went. Class of 20-something. What made you choose Salem State?
Basically what Kevin said, I felt very welcome at Salem. Talked to the coach, and it felt like he really wanted me to play with him and stuff like that. And I know some of the squad. They have excellent players, and I know some players there too. So there's chemistry there too.
Yeah. So now with this decision, how much are you guys both looking forward to get this next phase of your life going, just to see how you guys will fare in the collegiate athletics? You did well in high school. Now you're going to collegiate, where the competition just gets better. How you guys are getting yourself prepared for that?
Just training. Yeah, that's what we got to do all summer, getting ready on the field and focusing on school too while going to college.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing, is balancing the classes, the practice, the study hours.
It's going to be a big challenge.
Yeah, it's a process. It's usually the first month is usually adjusting period, because a lot of first-year students, they're not used to it, having their own schedule, and then that first month, especially those that play sports, so it's kind of like, but you guys will get used to it. You'll adjust fine. But talk about this past soccer season. You guys had quite the turnaround.
Yeah.
It was, I know when I talked with you guys before the season came, you guys were eager to get the season going. You guys were trying to prove yourselves and trying to go out big for your last year, but you guys did that as well. Just talk about that.
Go ahead.
This season was like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, all the players worked so hard, and I'm just proud to be part of that team this year. What we won and what we accomplished and what we sacrificed for, it was just it's an amazing thing.
Yeah. What was it like playing in the state tournament for you guys? That was a big thing with you guys. The whole team, they wanted to get in the state tournament. What was that, playing in that?
Fun.
Yeah.
Crowds were nice. the atmosphere was nice. You know, it was like crunch time where it's time to ball out.
It's
Yeah.
totally different.
Yeah, totally different from regular season.
Yeah, definitely. What did you guys learn about yourselves during that whole process, that entire season? What did you guys learn about yourselves?
The type of player that I am. Like, I'd rather be scoring, but that's not me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stay back on the defensive side and do my role,
Yeah.
and that helps out the team a lot. So I just learning my role. That's what I learned.
Yeah. How about yourself?
I learned how the willing to take another step forward and just keep going no matter the outcome.
Yeah.
Like there was some upsets during the season, but no matter what, we just had to keep going. And I just learned through that, and no matter what.
Can you talk about what Coach Marino did for you guys coming in his first year? It really seemed like he pushed you guys to take your games to another level. Could you just talk about how his coaching style helped you guys that the previous coaches didn't do for you guys?
Yeah, coach did an amazing job with us, and it's a big role to take, especially with how the past season's been and turning it around like how it was now. Like it's amazing, like what he did with us, the chemistry. He brought us all together, all the practices he pushed for us, and he wanted us to be successful.
Yeah, yeah. Now you guys are leaving the program. Do you think you guys are leaving it in good hands with the underclassmen, the guys that were behind you guys, with some of the returning players for next year? You think they'll be able to continue what you guys just finished off?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's some core guys there that helped us this year a lot that are returning, and they're doing like once our team did good, more kids are gonna start coming. So that's more options for the coach to use. So like I feel like the team's gonna be strong, remain strong. They're gonna obviously miss some of the seniors,
Yeah.
a lot, but they'll replace us. It'll be fine.
What is one thing that you guys are? What is one thing that's going to stick in your mind from this past season? What's one thing that you guys will never forget about this past soccer season?
The locker rooms.
Yeah, the locker rooms.
The bus ride.
Bus rides.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Fun time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, with you guys going off to college, you got with athletics and stuff. What are you guys also going to focus on in the academics? Do you guys have an idea of what you're going to major in, or are you still going to try to figure it out as the days and months come along?
I'm going in for exercise science.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to come out with a bachelor and then go on to physical therapy.
Okay. Good field.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing as Kevin.
Okay.
Exercise science and become physical therapy.
No coaching in your futures or nothing?
I wouldn't mind coaching, but maybe.
Coaching's hard. Now with this, you guys, your senior year is about to be up. You guys probably got a couple more weeks until you cross that stage. So what is it like for you guys this time? This time for you guys as high school seniors. What's this phase is like, and then you're gonna start the transitional phase.
It's scary, but also like you're eager and just waiting to see how the real life is, like taking another challenge and change and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll do it. It's scary, but you just gotta go through it.
I'll be ready.
You just gotta do it. What do you want folks to remember you? What do you guys want the classical community to remember your team as, or your team by, I should say?
Remember our team?
Yeah.
How that team was a brotherhood. Like it was a brotherhood. Like
Family.
It was family. Every game we went out, we played in family. We played for each other. So I hope that sticks forever.
And we did everything on and off the field. Practice together, we go out together, do everything together. It was a whole family.
Yeah. Now, what is something that you two are constantly working on that'll help you be able to see the field your first year during your freshman years? What is something that you guys are trying to improve on so the coaches notice it so they could give you some playing time?
I'm trying to hit the gym more, get more physical, and my goal kicks, and be able to communicate better and read the game better.
I need to get smarter with the game itself, learn positioning and all that, because the next game is faster. So people are gonna be like 2 steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
And I need to run more, get in shape, because those guys are like fast and really in shape. I need to hit the gym like he said.
Well, it's starting to get nice out, so you got you hit the track early in the mornings. You know, Manning Field's open at like 7 o'clock. So you can hit the track. But I think congratulations to you guys on everything. Congratulations and good luck. Good luck with college.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, you guys are gonna have fun. Best 4 years of your life. When they say it, it really is the best 4 years of your life. So congratulations, though. Congratulations on everything. And thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
All right, you guys been watching Athletes Corner. We are out of here. Did I hit the camera? No, I didn't. Damn, I could never hit the camera. And we are back. I want to thank those guys. And, you know, we're going to close this up. We're going to run through some stuff. So, the Kentucky Derby had a very interesting ending to the match this past Sunday. The person that won apparently didn't win, and the person that would have finished in second won. And I don't know. It was all confusing to me. But apparently a replay showed that the first place, the person who had originally won, their horse stepped on over or hit the other horse's foot or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I seen the replay. I didn't even know they had replays. I didn't even know they had rules, really.
Yeah.
I didn't know you really could control how the horse and how they step in the lane. Like, they're kind of animals. Like, so you can't really control how they move completely. So they should have had a little leeway. Like, I don't understand why the horse has to lose because he accidentally stepped in the wrong lane.
Yeah.
And it was like this. Like, it wasn't even like.
Yeah, and it was, it's not like this was some, like the race was like.
Or it's not like track.
Yeah.
Human beings running.
Yeah.
A little different.
You can control yourself. Sometimes a horse want to do his own thing. I got a mind of his own. But yeah, that was very interesting. When I saw it, I didn't watch the Kentucky Derby, but I saw the results, and then I saw it was trending on Twitter, and then I was like, okay, this is weird. But I mean, the horse that won, its name is Country Horse. Country Horse was
Original.
But that was the winner. So it was, I don't know. This is the first time, instant replays being used everywhere. Why not horse race?
Like a replay epidemic going on. Like, you serious?
Hey, you know what's funny? Granted, I don't agree with it. Like, I think horse racing is the actual one that actually got it right without no interference or no confrontation, nothing. NBA, NFL, geez Louise, it takes like eternity.
So then you go after the game signing petitions and all this.
Yeah,
like, come on,
man.
man.
Folks crying. But I don't know if I was the guy that
the jockey.
Yeah, if I was that.
I'd be highly upset.
Yeah, I would have been protesting.
Or equestrian.
Okay.
Nah, I think equestrian and jockeys. I think equestrian is like more like competitive, like when they jump over stuff.
Yeah.
And jockeys is like when they do that.
Jockey's a little person. That's why, because they're all.
Nah, then they are little people. Like little people with regular body type. It's weird. Like
they're like grown-ups with the trapped in an elementary school child's body.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
I can walk past a jockey right now. I probably won't even notice. But yeah, that's.
You would notice. You just wouldn't know how old he was.
This is true. All right, NCAA. We got a couple NCAA stuff we gonna talk about. So the NCAA, they've been investigating at the University of Arizona over Sean Miller.
Sean Miller.
I keep forgetting names. Sean Miller allegedly was paying DeAndre Ayton, however you pronounce his last name, $10K a month. And there's an investigation going on with that. The school launched the NCAA launched an investigation, and we're just going to see what's happening. But, there's been a lot happening with Arizona the past couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, when's the NCAA ever going to investigate themselves? How
Never.
they keep stealing money from all these kids?
Never. Never ever.
But with the NCAA thing, I'll be honest, it's to the point now, like, these guys is going straight to the league. Just pay these kids.
Yeah.
Like, granted, you got paid $10,000 a month. I think he deserved it.
Shout out to them for getting that 10K for how many, like, from
Right.
September until March or April? Then September until April? I mean,
But then I heard it was the assistant coach that was paying him.
oh yeah, he did say he was paying him, and he said he went broke paying him or something like that.
So sometimes some head coaches, not saying Sean Miller, but some head coaches really don't know what some of their coaches might do. Like,
Yeah.
so, you know what I mean? They might have had a conversation like, yo, if you're going to stay here, I'm going to start. And he might have had a conversation with the assistant coach talking about I might transfer. You never, or not, might not come here. You never really know.
Like Rick Pitino when he had that whole escort service thing happen.
Like,
Nah, Rick Pitino knew.
Nah,
His
yeah.
last name Pitino. He got that white. That he knew. You ain't gonna tell me that Rick Pitino ain't know. I knew, you know, how, cause when he wore that white suit, that all-white suit during the game, I'm like, Rick Pitino, no.
I mean, yeah, he probably asked,
Yeah.
how was it? How was their time?
Yeah, he probably was trying to get a little something for himself. We ain't talking about that. Also, with this NCAA stuff, two people have been convicted. Christian Dawkins and former Adidas consultant Merle Cole. They've been convicted for their roles in the bribing bribing players. So, woo, it's getting a little hefty in the NCAA. But I mean, but a lot of people have known this was happening for years. It's just like, okay.
It's just crazy to me. Like, they got to go to the court for paying kids.
Yeah.
Like, what crime are you actually really doing?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Especially with all the Title IX stuff that goes on in colleges and stuff like that. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Duke. So Duke, Boogie Ellis, he was a number 36 recruit in the ESPN Top 100. And he decommitted from Duke, opening up his recruitment. Nobody knows yet where he's going to go. I don't think he's signed to a new school yet. But this isn't surprising to me because Duke I think they've signed like 6 top 30 players.
And somebody already left Duke last year, Heavy D's nephew. I forgot his name. I think he's at Butler now. He's at Butler now. Mm-hmm. He's nice actually. But yeah, I mean, it's part of how recruiting is. Like when you see that coach over recruits, sometimes it's okay to back out and get the best situation possible for yourself.
Yep, definitely. And R.J. Hampton, he was number 1 recruit in the class of 2020. He is now reclassified, and he's class of 2019. He has yet to make his decision on where he's going to go.
Better for him. He needs a challenge. It's
Yeah,
better
this has been happening a lot lately too.
Because kids need a challenge. It's better than wasting a year with a chance of getting injured or something happen to you. Just go play the competition you need to play against.
Yeah, and lastly, the Red Sox, they have been winners of 7 and 9. Their record is 18 and 19 now. They're getting back on the winning ways. So they won last night against Baltimore. I believe they got another game tonight. So they're starting to pick it up. I think they're supposed to visit the White House. I know the coach isn't going for good reasons.
We're defending champs. I don't worry.
Yeah, we're the defending champs. And with that is our time. We are gonna get up out of here. You guys have been watching After the Whistle, me and Todd. We're going to be back here next week again. Hopefully the Celtics, well, if the Celtics win, they'll play Friday, and if they win Friday, Game 7 is Sunday. So please win, because I don't want to down a bottle of Jack myself. All right, we out of here. Can I hit the camera? I hit it. Got it. Got it.